not race number one. Welcome to Gulfstream. I'm already on the late show here. Good morning. I'm a little confused. A couple of minutes after 12 here. Fast main track firm turf course. Ron and Samantha. Ron is almost here. Samantha's fully here today. So.
Well, I don't know about that. It's still early, Ron. I might be shaking the cobwebs off, too.
Yeah, we got a fast main track. We are back on the turf, which is great. Always like that here at Gulfstream Park. Beautiful morning, and we're going to start right away and checking out what's going on in the Rainbow Six. I think we got a $100,000 guesstimate this afternoon. Yeah, $100,000.
Yep, and with the fast track and the firm turf, like you said, Ron, should be a good day for racing. Great weekend, too, huh?
Coast to Coast is back.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Did you win it last week? Oh no,
I got
singled.
I got knocked out in the first leg.
Yeah.
I took the horse off there.
Yeah.
Millie Ball, if you're listening out there.
Oh no.
there is the secret.
Yeah, it's a good sequence today too, and I think that maybe it'll get overlooked a little bit just due to Saratoga. All eyes there, but they've got a graded stakes today at Santa Anita, so very exciting.
We had one yesterday. We had a single yesterday in the 5-horse. That wasn't that. Could have actually won. It was like $63,000 or something.
Exactly. Yeah.
Hey, you could win $63,000 here. Is the same amount up in Saratoga when you go to the window, right?
That's true. It's the same thing any way you go.
Now, as I jumped aboard, as you know, the first race this afternoon, 5 furlongs. He's a maiden filly, 2-year-olds. Great way to start the day. And Brian, not here today. He's on assignment, but he did leave his early pick 5 ticket. He always does a great job. So we'll talk about this first race in a moment with those 2-year-olds. He's got lots of coverage, $54, all the way to race number 5 with his single. Who are going to turn the page and get there? It is Worldly Beauty. Looks pretty tough in there.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I've got my long shot in there, but I think that Worldly...
Which one is it?
Pacific Princess.
Oh, yeah, why not?
Yeah.
Piggy's in there. So getting back to this first race, you saw the ticket there. Current favorite is the number 5, Win Ruski. Do we start there? You want to show that workout?
Yeah, we can go ahead and start there. Now, with the scratches in this race, to be honest, Ron, I'm not a huge fan of really anybody. Nobody really tipped their hat here, but this is Winrooski, and I think one thing, it's significant to note that this is a filly that is breezing in company for the Abreu barn. That really helps, Ron, when you have gate company this time of year. And, she didn't work poorly here by any means. She's on her left lead. She started out on her correct lead, then she switched to her left lead here. But I think it was more a product of this outside horse. She was kind of eyeballing that horse a little bit. You can see her just kind of looking at him. Look, this is a fit enough horse for the assignment here today. I think with the 2 scratches, that really improves her chances, and she kept on going quite nicely. We're going to go to the 5 furlong distance here today. What's unfortunate now is drawing that outside post. Yeah, you usually break out.
Yeah. So here, let's show a stat for Fernando Abreu, who's going to be handling this horse this afternoon. When it was 2-year-old first-time starters on the dirt, 12%. 43%, sort of, middle of the road.
Yeah, it is. I thought it would be a little bit better, but honestly, I feel like this is not typically his game. So that's actually pretty good considering the sample size.
Now, we both started it off, well, I don't know if you scratched into it with Florida Gal. Now, if you know, Yoba Torres, the apprentice, is now a 2-pound apprentice, so the weight is going to be 111 pounds this afternoon. So just mark that down. And just Mike Yates, he's such good job in those Cajun breezes. Always run.
Oh, absolutely they do, and they're very quick to fire just right away here. Mike Yates, he's so patient with these horses. If she's here, she's ready to roll. Shady Brook Homebred, who he's had a lot of success with, I think she'll be tough.
Also want to mention on the 1 horse, the rider is going to be Jose Leon. Now we got one more workout we want to show you, and it's a horse that I've been third and you have been second, and that is Soda from Tariq Mubarak.
I thought this was a pretty professional move, Ron. Now this is a horse working with one that is not started. This is Rushy. That was Mike McCarthy trained Rushy here, so interesting to see how these horses kind of fare out. And this horse didn't break off from the pole that well as far as the company, but this horse picked up ground nicely on the outside here. Once the rider got him to switch into her right lead, she took off quite well, and she was kind of when she was asked, she showed it. That's a good sign.
That's a good sign. I like that work better than the other one.
I agree.
So That is race number 1. So many things going on here. Stats, videos, and so good. Race number 2, 5.5 furlongs on the Torpedo Maiden Claimers. These are fillies advanced 3-year-olds and up. Field of 8 with no scratches, and this is where your early pick 4 ticket starts.
Yep, we'll have the Tropical Turf pick 3 back tomorrow. It's a $9 play for me. I am going to single in race 3 with AG Diamond here. Race number 4, I have the 1 on top that is Chasing My Dream. That's our second 2-year-old race of the day on the grass course. And in race 5, as I mentioned, Pacific Princess is my long shot. I am using the 5, and using the 2, and I am using the 6 Go Big Green for Jose D'Angelo.
$9.
Yeah.
Very, very affordable. Getting back to this race this afternoon, and interested to see where you started.
I started with the 2 here, Mystic Shadow. I thought that the 3rd place finish last time was pretty good, Ron, and that was first time in the barn. I think she can improve.
Yeah, she was up there on the lead.
Yeah.
Finished second in there. I went inside. We got our exacta flip-flop with Made in Kuwait, talking about Tariq Mubarak, who's got that horse we just showed in the first. I thought this one ran okay, too. You know, with those back-to-back second-place finishes. I'm thinking maybe the 5.5 is better for this horse.
Yeah, I agree completely. Don't like the rail draw. That's a shame there. The luck of the draw didn't really work out that well. But Reggie Mirage riding fantastic, and I think he'll continue.
Yeah, and you know, the number 5 horse in their Collective Nation, they all look the same.
They do. It's so true.
Right? They all
Yep.
ran second, third. They have a good performance in front of them. This one was a little bigger price that day.
Yep.
So, you know, it's going to be it's really going to see how it plays out in race number 2.
It'll be interesting.
Pretty wide open. Race number 3 this afternoon, 5 furlongs on the Torpedo. It's a claimer for 3-year-olds or 4-year-olds and up, which have never won 3 in life. And we have no scratches in this race. Samantha, you started it off with AG Diamond, and we have a replay we want to show with that horse and Readier.
Yeah, we'll take a look at this here. AG Diamond on the inside here, I felt like had to do a lot more of the hard work here, especially from that rail run. We got some rain this week, but now it's toasty, it's warm. We haven't gotten rain in a couple days, so I think this Torpedo will be about how it was here on May 15th. And Readier then moved to the rail. It's interesting because then the 5 took back off again once they switched places.
Right.
So you can just see the rail did not look like a spot you wanted to be.
Yeah, that particular day, I actually remember that.
Yeah.
It wasn't really where you wanted to be. And, you know, yesterday, the main track, this one on Peter, but the main track, just so people know, was a little bit faster after the rain. We had a mile
good.
race that went in 1:36. Not big, you know, fancy horses,
Right.
but the track looked a little
Quick
bit
it up.
faster. Now it's had another night of sun, a day and night of sun. We'll see how that plays out in there. I did go with Readier, you know, on top, as we just saw in there. And then Breezer on the inside for me with Antonio Sano. You could look to back AG Diamond, second behind AG Diamond, comes back and runs a pretty nice race last time out to knock off that 2 lifetime condition. But as we always say, this is a big jump up when you go into that next condition.
Yep, it is, but at least you're coming off of a win, so that bodes well. Man, you and Brian, come hell or high water, are going to get Antonio Sano home, right?
One of these days.
Yeah.
Well, they didn't have him on top. So,
oh, yeah, that's true. That's
they
true.
didn't have him on top in here. So anything else before we take a little break?
I think the 4 Handsome Playboy, I heard that was named after you. That's a quick work on May 22nd. I'm not sure about the Torpedo. There's only one race on the page, and it was at Presque Isle, but I don't know. This horse looks like there's maybe some get to him.
Yeah, Gerald Bennett, excellent trainer, and that race up there produced a couple of next out winners. So maybe go with a horse like that, get a little bit of a price there. As I mentioned, we're going to take a short break. When I come back, have my Rainbow Six ticket, and that's about it. See you in a couple.
And they're off.
Win big with new DRF All Access past performances. With one best-in-class product, you now get all 3 past performance formats. Easily switch between views. Access the most trusted information in horse racing with DRF All Access past performances. Go to DRF.com and use Use coupon code ONEFREEPP for a free single card today.
Welcome back to Gulfstream today. Ron and Samantha. Brian will be joining us for sure tomorrow on a big Saturday card we have here with 11 races, so it's going to be a lot of fun. And, of course, you can come out and watch and wager on the Belmont Stakes right here. We got a great simulcast center and, of course, great racing here tomorrow with our 11-race card. With that said, this fourth race is going to be 5 furlongs on the turf, and what a great way to start it with 2-year-olds. We did have one scratch in here of the number 5 horse in the Tiano Coche, I think it is, and we'll call it the number 5 in here. And here's my ticket right away, and I'm going too deep in this. Oh, no, I'm single. I forgot my single. I love Still Bulletproof. This family really intrigues me. I'll tell you about it when we talk about the race. Race number 5, 3 deep for me. The top pick is Worldly Beauty. And in race number 6, just 2 for me with Dance to Remember and the number 5 horse in here, Baby Sasakaya. I think it is. They got a lot of tough ones today.
Yep.
The 7th race this afternoon, 4 deep for me. I thought it was pretty wide open in there. I got Classic Ballad on top, but there's other ways you can go. Race number 8, that is where the Coast to Coast is going to pick up this afternoon. And I went 3 deep in there. My top pick is a 3, Iron Hand. We know that. What's up with the lizards, right?
There you go, yeah.
And in the 9th and final race, I got my long shot, Lucky Girl, Coco. I think this horse might be able to steal the nightcat at 12-2-1, 43-20 for me.
I like it. Good day to take it down.
Yeah. I went back to the 4. It was 32-40 yesterday. Of course, I had 4 out of 6 yesterday. Wasn't my best. I usually have 5 out of 6 most days. Okay. So getting back to this race, did you start it with Chasing My Dream or somewhere else? So let's see that replay then.
Yeah, we will, and this is just kind of the middle part of the race here. I want to show just how he handled the turn, and he was a good-looking horse, too. He drew the 5 post this day. I think that he definitely needed the race, as do a lot of the day bratty horses do. He was sitting in a pretty nice spot. Now, getting around the turn here, Sandal's Song kind of floated him out just a little bit, and then Leno Reyes just really had to get onto him kind of just to take that turn. Now, I should note that the rails are out at 10 feet here today, so that was at 0 in that replay. I think that the 10 feet, he should be able to just kind of handle that a bit better, but now you're on the inside. That's still not ideal for a second-time starter.
We haven't been on the inside in a long time. We were out there in Neverland up there.
This is very
60
true,
feet, 70 feet. My my best bet this afternoon, I want to tell you about the 2 Still Bulletproof. Right. It's a full brother to Bulletproof once, who was 3 for 6 at age 2, including a pair of stakes wins. Patrick Biancone, 5 for 11. Well, he's now 5 for 12, I think, at the meet. At the meet, he's doing a great job, whatever that is. But I love the breeding on this horse. I love the fact that they're precocious. They win. And if you look at the family, everyone has got some kind of bulletproof in their name, which I like. So that is where I was going with this horse on the precocity.
Yeah, I think this horse has to be a must-use. And Patrick Biancone, like you mentioned, he's just doing fantastic with these 2-year-olds.
Now we have a video we want to show, a workout we want to show, right? In here, I believe.
Well, do you want to go with Saborio, the 7?
Yeah, Saborio.
Yeah, okay. We'll take a look at this horse. This is from the new sire, Raging Bull, so word is still out here. Raging Bull was pretty impressive on the grass. Inside Saborio here, I'm not a huge fan of this call to action. He was actually scratched last week and now runs here. He's very wide up front. He's not very big, which I don't mind not being very big, Ron, but it's just the way he handles it. Now, I will say this. He's okay with this company there, but the time of this work is not very impressive at all. I'm curious to see how he handles this outside post position. I think it helps that we have one horse scratch, so you move in one, but that can still be tough.
We'll show you a stat on the 7 before we get to the 6, Bogarts Butrero, and this is a stat on Jose D'Angelo. Turf sprints the last 5 years. Look at this, 1 for 10. He doesn't do it.
It's funny because the only horse that won this race was Gabaldoon.
Oh, really?
That's his 1 out of 10 is Gabaldoon.
That is unbelievable. I didn't realize that. That makes it more. Look, you get 350 ROI, so they bet, but they don't win.
Exactly.
I mean, they pay well, but they don't win.
Yep.
Just a stat. That doesn't mean the horse cannot win.
No.
The other workout we wanted to show is Bogarts Buchero for Jack Sisterson.
Yep, this horse did actually have turf experience here. This was a couple weeks ago, so not too long. He made up some ground late. I think it's interesting. The Boucheros, they love to sprint, but I think he's one that might actually like to go a little bit longer, which is interesting. He definitely picked up some ground late. Monster was quite just that.
Oh, man.
Yeah, just a runaway. I tried to beat him that day, but I couldn't. But there was no use in showing the rest of that because it's just all eyes on Monster. But this horse should definitely take a step forward.
And the experience angle
Exactly.
is so key, especially with experience on the grass, because 2-year-olds, they don't get a chance to run on the grass that often.
Right.
So I think that's a very important part. So, very, very interesting way to start the Rainbow Six, excuse me. Now, going to race 5, we're going to go to the main track, and it's 1 mile, and it's a claiming event for fillies and mares, 4-year-olds and upward. No scratches. Samantha has her late pick 5 ticket.
Yep, we'll take a look at it here. Races 5 through 9, $27 play here. Race number 6, I'm singling Dance to Remember. This is my best bet today with the blinkers coming off. Race 7, I've got the 2 on top, Ask the Monarch for Kathleen O'Connell. Race number 8, the 1, I know, on top in a nice allowance race on the Tapeta. And in the finale, I've got the 7 on top. Pemberley. I almost singled Pemberley, but Pemberley's the one. Lucky Girl Coco, that's an interesting horse. I'm going to take a second look at that.
Yeah, but Pemberley's absolutely the one to beat in that particular spot. Now, getting back to this race here, you got your long shot in here, right? Pacific Princess.
Yes.
So let's talk about that horse, then we'll show you the video of Worldly Beauty, Kiki Love, and Go Big Green.
Oh, well, you like this horse too, so
Yeah.
that's great. Well, 4 main track wins, so that is fantastic.
Yeah.
All of them local here for Roger Lauren. The last dirt races that this mare was in, they were in way, way tougher competition. Now we're plunging to the 6250 level. Why not?
Well, you just look and you see Sheila's Mission. That horse railed up like 4 or 5 victories in a row. So as just what you're thinking is what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Now, with that said, Worldly Beauty, Brian, singled it 4 to 5 on the line.
Yeah.
We'll show you that video right now.
Yeah, she was impressive, and you look at the rest of the gals running behind her, Kiki Love and Go Big Green. I felt like Go Big Green, that was the one you wanted out of this race, if anybody besides the winner here. But Worldly Beauty, wow, she got to the main track for the first time and just absolutely romped on the field here. Now, Kiki Love just kind of the Kiki Love didn't really finish up too well. Go Big Green finished up well. On the contrary to that, you see the 2 horse just making up some ground. But Worldly Beauty's the one you want out of there.
And boy, they knew about it. They sent
Oh,
this horse off at 4 to 5 or even money, whatever it was. So, of course, Victor Barboza Jr., the trainer of that horse. So, everybody behind. Worldly Beauty 4 to 5. I, like Samantha, are going to try and beat this horse with that horse. I'm using him, but I'm going to try and beat him. Race number 6 this afternoon is 6 1/2 furlongs. These are maiden claimers. Fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and up. We're going to scratch the 2 Starship Orion and the 6 Queen McKinsey in this race. And Brian put a late pick 4 ticket together that we will check out right now. Anyway, 3 deep. Who's this single in here? Ask the Monarch for Kathleen O'Connell in race number 7. 2 deep in race number 8. I know. I used that horse. He also used it in lots of coverage in the last. Did not use my long shot, but I'm not deterred. I'm still going to bet that
There
horse.
you go. I like it.
So going back to this race number 6, I went with the number 5 horse. And let's start with the number 1, Dance to Remember.
I love the blinkers off move on the rail run. I think that's so key. This horse debuted without blinkers, but she's not a grass horse, I don't think, at all. So they take him off here. Her 6.5 furlong race, 2 starts back, was a really, really strong effort behind Rumors Have It, who's that incredibly nice Songbird filly for Kent Sweezy. So now they plunge her down to the 25 level. That's great.
I went with Baby Sasakaya, the Sappy Joseph one, sort of going with the chalk, and big drop this afternoon. You'll claim for 35. Hey, this is way back. They tried this horse in Keeneland, didn't run that badly. Where you been? Why the drop?
Yeah, those are 2 big questions, but I feel like that's why Sappy Joseph is the top trainer around here, because of drops and moves like that.
What about the number 4, Gervin Star? I know you had some interest. There's one, Eduardo Nunez, former jockey over at called the Racecourse.
Yeah.
He has this horse here and tried maiden special weight last time, state bred.
Yeah, it was too tough. I'm excited to see her back on the main track here, because only 1 main track start. It was against maiden special weight, so maybe the drop and getting back to the main track can help.
we will go to race number 7. See how I did that?
I like it, yeah.
Right after 6 comes 7. 7 furlongs on the main track. Claimers, fillies, and mares, 3-year-olds and up, which never won 2 in life. And as I mentioned, Yobor Tortas, now a double bug, not a triple bug, so 118 pounds on Classic Ballad. You started it off with Ask the Monarch, so let's hear about it.
And this was Brian's single, too,
Yeah.
so that's an interesting play.
Yeah.
I think that the dirt races in the past are against way better. This is a huge drop in class, Ron, for this gal here, Kathleen O'Connell. She's been having a fantastic spring, summertime. And this is a nice horse to try again today.
Yeah, let's show you a stat with Kathleen and see how she plays with this angle here. And turf to dirt, route to sprint in the past 5 years. That's her numbers, 16%, 56% in the money. All good numbers, 168. I mean, I think you got to use this horse somewhere on your ticket.
Absolutely.
And as Brian singles it in race number 7, I did go with the 5 in here, Classic Ballad. I like the turn back in distance this afternoon. Coming in from Tampa, they shipped this horse up to Tampa, tried the 2 lifetimes, got beat a length, comes back. I think maybe this is the spot for this horse.
Yeah, I tend to agree with that, Ron, and I think the fact that you've got an apprentice aboard and you are cutting back, there's got to be some intent of let's see how far we can take him.
Yeah, and then you got one special act, the other Kathleen.
Yeah, the other Kathleen, which sometimes the longer price does typically win, coming off of a win, but it took 11 tries to finally get it.
How about Miguel Vasquez getting his
That's
1,500 victory?
Yep.
What a nice guy. Never have a problem when he was just
Right.
a great guy and just goes on and keeps winning and winning.
Yep.
And Brian said, Ed told us in the office that 2022, he was the 10th leading rider in the country who wins.
Wow,
With
that's
195 or something
my
like
gosh,
that.
that's really impressive.
Yeah, amazing. So that is race number 7. Race number 8 today, as I mentioned, is where the coast to coast will kick off. Leg A, miles 70 yards. It's an allowance race. It's the feature race this afternoon for 3-year-olds, and a nice full field of 8 with no scratches in there. And I know is where we're going to start. And I know, didn't I put this one as high as you and Brian did?
Nah, that's great. I like the races that he's coming out of. Now, the rail's not ideal, has been off about 5 months now, so you wonder where have you been, but we'll get Lasix on for the very first time, which I think is very significant here. Like we mentioned about the Patrick B. and Combe barn, Ron just keeps on keeping on, doing very, very nice work. This horse, 3 Tapeta starts, 1 win, 1 second. That's good. And maybe all of these other horses in here, like Iron Hand, who we'll get to, their time is up, maybe.
And you know what the interesting thing, all those races before, I know with stakes races, the first time this horse is getting Lasix.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
even though he didn't have Lasix in state, but he didn't have Lasix ever. So,
Right.
figure that in. I went with Iron Hand in here because Iron Hand has done nothing wrong. He's won 2 races like this in a row.
Yeah, he has. And before that, it was sprinting on the Tapeta. So since stretching him out, he's undefeated.
Yeah, and and 2 good performances. Jose D'Angelo, not much else to stay there except the horse likes to win.
Yeah.
9-5 on the board, probably rightly so. And then you got who do you have in 7? The 6 horse we can talk about. Expect the best. This one from Jose D'Angelo.
Yeah, the other Jose D'Angelo blinkers go on. You have a Misael aboard. You're going to get some pace insurance there. And again, we mentioned earlier with the other Kathleen O'Connell horse in race number 7. This is just maybe a horse to consider trying the Tapeta for the first time.
Yeah, you can see how it runs and it kicks off the coast to coast. So do you single the 1? Do you use 2? 2 is 3?
Right.
I know Samantha will be playing a little later
Yeah,
on, that's
of
for
course.
sure. In race number 9, this is 1 mile on the turf. Claimers, fillies, 3-year-olds, or fillies and mares 4 and up, which have never won 3. Scratch the 4, scratch the 5 horse in here. And you went with Pemberley on top, and we have a replay of Pemberley and Ipanema Princess.
Yes, and Pemberley has run since then, but that was on the Tapeta. I wanted to show the grass race. Pemberley here in this spot is, I don't want to say it's a tougher race, but it is just because it was during the championship meet, during the $25,000 level. Now, this is a $25,000 level here, but like I said, championship meet, way different. Look at this horse's middle move on the rail here. That was very, very impressive. Now, she was able to get second place, which is impressive on its own because of the move that she made here. Ipanema Princess is the 6 horse. And Impanema Princess just kind of does her thing. Like she runs just very, very even to me. Now, I do love the fact that Pemberley just picked up so much ground to get second. That was at a big price. Now she's had another race since then, but that was on the Tapeta. But you look at her back class, especially on the grass course, it's pretty nice.
Yeah, and Impanema Princess 16-1 last time out, so it's certainly a way you can go. And Samantha got in second. Let me tell you about two Lucky Cocos,
right.
my long shot today. This is a two-time winner on the turf, returns to Gulfstream Park, and I just think this one gets the call as the speed of the speed for me. You're getting the red hot jock Joe Treos in the saddle. I think he can run well in here, you know, and I just think that I'm taking a little bit of a shot for the trainers. Guillermo Morales, he's a Tampa trainer, does well up there. Hey, it's a speed play for me. You mentioned earlier the rail is out 10 feet. Maybe that'll help me today.
Yeah, it could. And the good news with her is you're going to get a very fair price because you look at her last few races, she's not been bet at all.
No, not at all. That's why I was looking for a little bit of a price. And it's basically speed for me to try and, speed pop the field maybe and get a chance to do that and get a big price. The horses from Tampa, we had a couple win on the dirt now, but the turf horses have all ran well if they're in the right spot.
Yeah, I think that's what's key.
Yeah, put them in the right spot. And then we have the number 6, and this one was named after you, Show Off. So what do you think?
That was good. This is
I got even.
There you go. Yeah, good job, Ron. This was a nice drop in class here. The race for 35 back in February, what a tough race that was. Those horses in that group were really good runners. So I think the drop in class should definitely help. It's the other entry of the Saffie Joseph trainees.
And to Sean Hazelwood back in town to ride
Great.
this. I mean, I don't know if he left town, but he hasn't ridden here yet.
Right.
So we'll see how that plays out. So that's the 9 for us. We have our lightning round today, and as I mentioned earlier at the top, got all the races from upstate at Saratoga if you want to bet them. But let's look at the lightning round. We're going to start it off with our stakes action.
Yeah, tomorrow, the Not Surprising and the Martha Washington, they're going to be a very, very fun, like Brian says, spice up the Saturday card here.
Yeah, I think they're going to run well. They're two good stakes, and they're very competitive, which I like about it.
And we're watching the replay of Classic, of course, which this was Florida Derby Day, running down Forge Steel, which is not an easy horse to run down for Patrick Biancone, so we'll see the return of this guy here today. It'll be very, very fun. I mean, tomorrow, I should say.
Yeah, we got that's the, but not surprising, we got the Martha Washington, too,
Yes.
so. There you see it. Not
There you go.
surprising, Martha Washington. On Sunday, we got the Wildcat Red, one of my favorite horses that used to run here. Had a lot of fun with the owners of that horse. So we'll see how that plays out. Now we got Horse Profits. We had a lot of fun doing that, too. And it seems like people are out there looking at it.
Yep, that's fantastic. You can watch on the Gulfstream Park app. You can watch it YouTube. You can watch on or listen on Spotify, however you get your information. That was a lot of fun. We talked to Saffie about White Barrio on Saturday. Liam Molinaro, who's upstairs in the booth, did a fantastic job calling yesterday. So fun stuff.
Yeah, and Patrick Biancone about it going over to Royal Ascot. So lots of good stuff. And we gave Ed our picks of the Belmont Stakes.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Freaky fast.
Oh, man.
Yeah, yesterday was unbelievable.
Yeah, this is Mythical was.
Beats the boys.
Yeah, and I told Brian this after the race. Between this race and then the boys' race, she beat the boys.
Yeah, he was telling me you said
15 lengths faster than the boys. This is a serious racehorse here. I mean, she. Boys, girls, doesn't matter. Run her against anything. Run her against a Ferrari because she is fast.
That was up at Saratoga.
Yeah.
So, and as we mentioned a couple of times, we've got the Coast to Coast race number 8 starts right here.
Yep, it does. And fun day of racing between here and Santa Anita.
So
always pays well.
I'm figuring it out. 2 hours and something. We don't have Brian to add it up here. But it's not a problem because the last race at Saratoga is 7:43. So we'll be here
all day anyway.
Yeah. What's your best bet?
A Dance to Remember for me.
Dance to Remember, and we'll pop it up there in race number 6. My best bet today is still Bulletproof in that 2-year-old race on the grass. See if we can get that done. Your long shot?
Who is my... Oh, Pacific Princess, yes.
Yeah, the one we both have on top, and my long shot today is in the last. It's the 2 Lucky Girl Coco at 12-1 on the morning line, trying to steal the nightcap, get some money for Saturday. So that's it. I'm going to turn it over to Liam. See how he does? He did a good job
Yes,
yesterday. Yeah, he did a
fantastic.
very good job. And 20 years old, I couldn't tie my socks at 20 years old. So I'm in my shoes, not my socks.
Yeah,
My shoes.
exactly.
Exactly.
That's the point.
I rest my case.
Yeah.
Good luck. We'll be back soon.